THA support for businesses. Today is really a good day to be alive in Tobago. THA support for businesses. Madam Presiding Officer, the development of an indigenous private business sector in Tobago is another critical pillar in our strategy for economic development and transformation. Over the past 20 years, the THA established a number of programs and initiatives to provide financial technical support and technical support designed to boost business development on the island. However, these programs have not succeeded in developing the private sector in the island to encouraging levels. Under the Enterprise Assistance Grant Programs, 2,571 grants with a value of 32.7 million were dispersed since its inception in 2011. Adjacently, under the Enterprise Assistance Fund that was established in 2004, a total of 275 loans valued at 26.5 million have been issued to date. Madam Presiding Officer, this loan portfolio is plagued with a very high and troubling rate of delinquency of 32%. This does not speak well for the management and overall sustainability of the fund. In fact, this speaks of a reckless management of state resources and the sometimes dangerous intersection of politics and business. Similarly, under the Venture Capital Equity Fund program, which commenced in 2011, a total equity investment of 13.5 million has been made in 5 investee companies, 80% of which are currently experiencing severe financial hardships. And I must hasten to add that the financial hardships of these businesses started sometime ahead of the pandemic. So COVID then caused that. Madam Presiding Officer, as the Secretary with the responsibility for these boards, I have given the boards the mandate to reorganize and repurpose them to improve efficiency and their overall levels of effectiveness. There will be policy changes, especially within the Business Development Unit. For starters, the unit will be required to now consider providing grants and/or loans for the purchase of stock or raw materials. SMEs will also now be empowered to use the funding to purchase equipment and/or stock internationally. Additionally, the BDU will be required to consider grants and loans for the creative sectors. So now our local filmmakers, musicians, performing and visual artists can look forward to investments in their craft. There is still a need, Madam Presiding Officer, for us to find innovative and creative ways of mobilizing larger volumes of cost-efficient investment capital to fund economic and business development projects on the island. It is against this backdrop that my administration is seriously pursuing the establishment of an economic development financing mechanism along the lines of a Tobago Development Bank. I am pleased to announce that discussions have been held with officials of the Caribbean Development Bank and the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago about the establishment of a Tobago Development Bank. The officials of both entities expressly stated their support for the idea and have committed to providing technical support for the design of the governance and operational aspects. The CDB has also expressed its willingness to fund the preparation of a detailed concept note to initiate the process. Madam Presiding Officer, we envisage a Tobago Development Bank will perform the following functions among others.
Yes.
Mobilization of investment capital to fund the economic expansion and development programs and projects of the Assembly. Provision of banking and financial intermediary services to financial entities indigenous to Tobago, such as credit unions. Provision of low-cost education loans to Tobagonians. Serving as the banker of the Assembly. Yes. Provision of land banking services to Tobagonians and subsuming all the existing THA business financing and development programs in its operations. In addition, Madam Presiding Officer, my administration has decided to establish a trade unit in the Division of Finance, Trade and Economy with the core mandate of creating trading links and exporting opportunities for Tobago export-oriented businesses. The unit will also provide the necessary technical support to these businesses to ensure that they meet all the standards and requirements to export their products regionally and internationally. The unit will be geared to building the much-needed infrastructure to expand the market access and will boost the viability of the island's businesses. Further, Madam Presiding Officer, Cove Eco-Industrial and Business Park remains one of the most important assets in Tobago's industrial development equation. It provides factory spaces for businesses to establish their production plants. It also provides long-term land leases to businesses that prefer to construct their own factory spaces to meet certain production requirements that are not available in the built spaces. Currently, there are 14 tenants operating production plants at the business park. The business park is operated and managed by EID-COT, Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago. Madam Presiding Officer, the new Board of Directors of EID-COT has been mandated to immediately conduct an evaluation of the company's business model that specifically looks at its processes, systems, and human resources. In addition, my administration is actively pursuing the development of EID-COT becoming Tobago's premier project and management entity, which will manage all the major development projects of the Assembly. This is intended to create a circular flow of finance among the entities of the Assembly and reduce financial outflows. Madam Presiding Officer, the Stolly Park Quarry is pregnant with significant revenue earning potential, notwithstanding the failure of the last administration to birth these possibilities. But I believe the Division of Infrastructure has a midwife in charge now that will birth these possibilities. This administration is intent on harvesting the revenue earning potential of this treasured asset, and accordingly, the new board has been mandated to review and address when necessary the business model of the company. It has also been mandated to explore the possibility of diversifying the product offering towards new value-added products such as stone tiles, sandpaper, and to explore new export markets. The new board has also been mandated to consider changing the name from Stolly Park Quarry and to create a structure that will take care of the mining assets of all of Tobago and to look for new spaces around the island where mining of our precious stones can be done.